when we talk about Bitcoin and what our key levels of support, because right now at 35,000, we could quite possibly see a minor cascading effect like we've seen in March of 2020. And we also seen it in December of 2018. This was an article published 2 days ago. Bitcoin miners can take a fresher breath air. This was because they still have 20% price drop before capitulation. And what that's referring to is the fact that Bitcoin miners are not profitable if price drops below 34,000. So the second that price drops below 34,000, we could see a cascading effect of miner sell-off. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't, but this is crypto. The markets are really, really bearish. We're either going to see big players step in right now and support Bitcoin and help push it to the upside, or we're going to bleed out back down to 29,000. If we see that minor cascading sell-off that we've seen before, last time it caused a 50% drop in the price of Bitcoin, immediately followed by a rally. In 2018, we've seen another cascading effect leading into a 40% drop in Bitcoin price. So if price drops below 34,000 and it hit 34,100 earlier, that would be saying that you could quite possibly see a 40% cascading sell-off would send us down to 20,000. I don't really know how I feel about that. It's kind of nerve-wracking. Maybe we see a big sell-off because right now, when price is sitting at that price level, if any government wanted to basically discredit or put that max pain into effect, we could see a big sell-off and manipulation by governments and I don't want to say exchanges. I don't think exchanges are going to do it to you. Maybe this is a time to take a look at some other analytics. If we take a look at Into the Block and we talk about average transaction size, we can see for the first time since August of 2020, the size of Bitcoin transactions really starting to increase. And we can see that here on the charts. It's overwhelmingly obvious. And I went back into Glassnode and I tried to analyze on those exact dates. Were these institutional buyers or were these old players taking profits? And judging by this heat map that actually shows you the index of how long Bitcoin players have been holding Bitcoin, I can see here on November 13th that a majority of volume came from players that were holding Bitcoin from 1 day to 1 week, 1 hour to 24 hours, and then less than 1 hour. Over 80% of volume on that date was done by new hodlers of Bitcoin. And taking a look at the same dates where we see these major spikes, this would be October 19th. And as well on October 19th, a vast majority of that volume was coming from players that haven't held Bitcoin for more than 2 years. Less than 1% of volume that day was done by players holding Bitcoin for longer than 2 years. So I don't think that these are old players taking profits. And even when Bitcoin was at its peak on November 8th, 95% of volume done that day came from buyers that had held Bitcoin for less than 3 months. So people that had bought into Bitcoin, wrote it up, and that was on November 8th. And if we jump back over here and we take a look here on November 8th, and you can see there was some large volume, but there weren't those rapid spikes that you think you could see from a rapid sell-off by institutional investors. I think that these spikes right here are big players, whether that be Michael Saylor, ARK, who knows, even Walmart, Nike, Amazon. We don't really know, Tesla. What big players are stepping in the game here, stacking these Satoshis, because we are very confident that Bitcoin is going to be that saving grace. If we talk about indicators, were there any indicators that were letting us know that it may or may not have been time to take profit? And we take a look at the moving averages. These are really consistent. This is why I was one of the first YouTubers. I was actually the very first YouTuber to be making videos about saying, hey, we're taking profits. We sold out of Bitcoin over here at 62,500. Bitcoin continued to fall down. So if we talk about moving averages, we can see that the orange is your 20-day, the white is your 50-day, the green is your 100-day, and the purple is your 200-day. When price gets above the 200-day moving average, extremely bullish momentum, and it normally tends to stay above those moving averages. We can see for this entire bullish stretch, we crossed over all moving averages on October 10th of 2020, and we had the most crazy, insane bullish rush. And then we started to break back below them all the way over here, and we continue to stay trapped below those moving averages. It took us a really long time to get back above them. It really did. So on November 15th, we broke below the 20-day moving average at 63,000. On November 19th, we broke below the 50-day moving average at 59,000. That was warning shot number 2. Warning shot number 3, which we should have all been paying attention to, was Bitcoin breaking below the 100-day moving average at 54,000. And then it free fell all the way down to 41,000. So that one was a hard one to catch because it was such a rapid sell-off. The last moving average, the final warning shot, came right here at 46,346. I was very confident and very loud about this earlier in the bull run. And I told everybody that when we sold out over here and we started to short Bitcoin and we made all of that money, we turned $1,000 into 60,000 in less than 60 days doing nothing but shorting Bitcoin. I told everybody once we started to go back up, if I knew what I knew about the crypto market now, I probably would have never sold out and I would have rode it all the way down. And what did I do this time? I rode it all the way down. And my portfolio is down over $300,000. Now, right over here, I was able to turn 60,000 into over 500,000 in a 93-day period. I was able to turn 60,000 into $500,000. I started with 60,000 right here, and my portfolio is still $187,000 right today. So my portfolio is down $353,000 from its peak. Pretty crazy to think about, but I am confident that I am in the best possible assets humanly possible. I'm continuing to accumulate more and more Bitcoin because Bitcoin is going to be $500,000. Whether it happens this week, next month, next year, when global adoption happens, it's going to be fireworks. So right now in this type of market, I think it's critically important to just DCA into Bitcoin because maybe Bitcoin drops down by, 26%. Maybe it drops down and breaks below that 29K support. We didn't break below it here. I can't imagine that we're going to break below it now. We sat down here at 29K. It was the most bearish I've ever seen the market. And we sat down here for extended periods of time. Bitcoin's a funny dude, Bitcoin, when you think it's going to go down and it can't go down anymore, it'll go down more. When you think you're for surely going down, there's no way it's the most bearish we've ever seen in the market. Boom, it blasts off and takes off. Now, we will continue to monitor the situation because we missed a lot of great opportunities down here at 29K to long Bitcoin and run it up. We know that when the market turns around, man, oh man, it's exciting times. But over here, during this market condition, we had the stock market on our side. We had the government just printing out stimulus checks. They were dumping a ton of money into the economy. Now the stock market's in a rough position. The feds are in a horrible position. Inflation's at an all-time high. We definitely could see some more downward movement on Bitcoin, but eventually we're going to get to the point where people stop putting their money in the stock market. They stop selling Bitcoin. I can't imagine, I don't get why anybody would be selling it. I get if you sold it up here, but now that you're already down to 35K, what's the point? Even miners, I can't see miners wanting to sell and push price down unless they got deep pockets and they plan to buy more, but you're always going to risk that one time where price does push up to the upside. Now, if China or anybody wanted to make crypto look really bad, now would be the time to sell it and drop price below 34,000 and cause that cascading effect. And I will say with absolute confidence that it's really cool because when Bitcoin went down and crashed before, everybody was talking about bubble. It's going to be the same as it always been. Bitcoin's going 80% off. All this shill, the media was running with it. I myself, being through every bear run since 2015, I thought for sure Bitcoin was going to 20,000. For the first time in history, we made that reversal. We went up. Bitcoin went and put in a new all-time high. The markets are coming down right now, not because we don't believe in Bitcoin. I think that this is the most bullish the market and the Bitcoin community and the crypto community's ever been in the history of crypto when Bitcoin's coming down. Because we believe in it, we know that Bitcoin's going to be 500K. So we're like, sweet. It sucks that our portfolios are down, but we're all like, yeah, we're buying up more Bitcoin. So shout out to the squad. Every Friday, I'm going to buy $100 to $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, and I'm going to put a 100 mark on my portfolio. So that way you guys know that it's going to be the Bitcoin 100 club. So if you guys want to join the club, you guys want to show your support for the Bitcoin network, drop that 100 logo on your Twitter profile, and let's start a movement, guys. Let's start we need to buy Bitcoin every Friday, every time we get paid. That way, when the market does turn around, we're all riding it up together. Love you guys. Can't wait to see you guys next video. Peace.